Well, hello, friends. Mark Holmes here, and as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Joe Blue Sports Report. Without you guys, this literally does not work. Well, I got the pond just about filled back up with water, but I got to get a couple of elbows because I still got a little bit of a water leak in the pump coming out of there, but I'll get it squared away tomorrow. Today was a good day. Got to spend some time with my wife, get back on an even keel from being on the road the last couple of weeks and stuff, and getting things back together. Don't forget, tomorrow night we're going to do the drawing for the Dak Prescott shirt for the Stand Up to Cancer. Whew. So back to work tomorrow. And the question you have to ask about the Dallas Cowboys are they done trying to get talent before the draft? Stephen Jones said something, and I believe that Stephen Jones is looking at it this way. He said player acquisition is a 365-day-a-year job where you're constantly trying to get better. And this has been the first wave of free agency, and what you're going to see is the second wave as teams go through and they draft guys that are younger, stronger, maybe better shape physically, and definitely a lot cheaper. And they'll look at bringing some of those guys in and letting some of those veterans go. And that's where the Cowboys usually would shop, would be that bargain basement time. And we'll see if that happens. The question you have to ask, right now Michael Anthony is live streaming inside with Rashid. And of course they're talking about Wrestling Mania. And Rashid said this isn't a football broadcast, but yet he's still on there trying to throw a little haymakers at my Cowboys. But that's all good. But he said something that's really profound. Because every time you say, you know what? You haven't beat us, Giants, since the 2016 season when you beat us back-to-back. We're 4-0 in that time. Since then. And in fact, when you look at Dak Prescott against the NFC East, the Cowboys have dominated the division. 15-5. Let me say that again. The Dallas Cowboys have gone 15-5 against the NFC East in Dak Prescott's career. It's unbelievable. 15-5? That's 75% win percentage. But Rashid said something that's really, really key. He said, winning that don't mean anything. The only thing that matters is winning a Super Bowl. But in order to win a Super Bowl, usually you need to win your division. And I'm going to say the same thing I said after the 2016 season. Because I know the Eagle fans, when I said this last year, they said I was just being a homer. And that's why I wasn't picking the Eagles. Because the Eagles are going to dominate the division for the next 10 years. We've got the best quarterback situation. We just won the Super Bowl. We're winning the NFC East. And I sat out here. Well, I don't think the man cave was. Well, maybe it was. Maybe it was later in the season when I was doing my early predictions. But I said, in the NFC East, it's not like, say the AFC North, where New England has a lockhold on that division where pretty much you can count on the other three teams being sorry. The NFC East has not had a back-to-back champion since 2003 and 2004. In fact, that was where the Eagles actually won it 4 times in a row. But they broke it. The NFC East, since that time, the last 14 years, every year it's been a different team winning the division. Every year. And sometimes it's a team that's in the basement that ends up winning it the next year. 2015 was abysmal for us. We were 4-12. The next year, we won the division. The Eagles, that season, were in the basement. They turned around. They won the division and went on and won their first Super Bowl. And I'll give you credit on winning your first Super Bowl. Congratulations, Eagles. Let me know when you get to 5. Do the Dallas Cowboys have a chance to win the division? It's not easy for a multitude of reasons. And it sometimes doesn't matter how good you are. You have to understand the dynamics that you're fighting. The first dynamic is you're not sneaking up on anybody. More times than not, it's that team in the basement that nobody's really thinking about until it's too late. When the Eagles went on their run, they weren't thinking that the Eagles were going to be the team to beat. They were thinking the Cowboys. You got to stop them. They won the division last year. The Eagles in the basement. And when you're in the basement, you have a little bit softer of a schedule. You have a couple of games that you're playing, not the first place teams, but the basement teams. And that gives you a little bit of an advantage. Another thing that plays against you. Let's say the Giants, for example. The Giants shut down things a couple of weeks before the end of the season. That gives their guys, because we played in 2 playoff games, an extra 2, 3, 4 weeks of offseason to heal. Less time, more time to get operations, to get themselves in shape. And that's another one of those reasons why it's difficult to repeat, because you've got more mileage on it. You have a shorter offseason. And think about this. Teams that lost their coach last year are already doing team workouts. Teams that change coaches are already beginning to do their new workouts. Cowboys, come the 15th, will start doing their offseason work. So that's another one of those reasons. And when you're successful, teams want what you have. They want your free agents, your good players. They want your coaches to go elsewhere. Although, not too many of our coaches get jobs elsewhere. Jason Garrett coaching tree. A few do, but not too many. I mean, we get guys like Paul Alexander and Scott Linehan. I think they're still unemployed right now. So that's another one of those things that you're fighting. And when you're successful, you get other teams' best shots because they want to knock off the big guys. And especially if it's the Dallas Cowboys. You beat the Dallas Cowboys, everybody's talking about you. So those are the dynamics that you're fighting. So if we look at this realistically, and I know I'm going to be told I'm a homer. Shout out to Joseph Hartley. Look at that. That's the Cowboys' first Super Bowl ring replica. Isn't that beautiful? I remember driving Roger Staubach back to his hotel and him sitting beside me and seeing the real deal on his finger. But back to the NFC East. Like I said, teams in the basement have come around and won the division. I don't think that's going to be the case with the New York stinking Giants. They have basically gutted the team, and I think that they're looking down the road, which I think is not a bad thing to do with their situation. I don't think they're going to win the division. The Washington Redskins, and now they still don't have a quarterback, and they've got a lot of holes, and they've got Jay Gruden. I don't think that they're going to win the division. I could be wrong on this, but as it looks right now, to me, it's a 2-horse race. It's the Eagles and it's the Cowboys. The amazing thing about Dak Prescott in his short career is 15-5. 15-5 in our division. It's amazing. We're going to need that if we're going to repeat. And it's going to be hard to repeat. But the thing I will say is that bode in our favor. And I don't know if we can or not. I'm not going to go out here and say we're definitely going to win the division. Because, like I've always said, it's hard to repeat in the NFC East. From the standpoint of losing free agents, we've lost some guys. Lost Randy Gregory. I mean, not to free agency, but we lost Randy Gregory. But you replaced him with Robert Quinn. I think that's an upgrade. You lost to David Irving. You got Covington, which I think is not as good, but still a nice rotation. You lost Cole Beasley. Cole going out. You got Randall Cobb, and if Randall Cobb's healthy, I think you've got something. Addition-wise, I think Jason Witten will be an addition for our offense as well. And getting George Iloka, if for no other reason, is going to push Xavier Woods and Jeff Heath more. And from the standpoint of looking at that, I think our team is actually in a better position and better players. And the simple fact that we have Amari Cooper going through the offseason, that we should be able to hit the ground running. Coaching changes, I don't think Kellen Moore can be any worse than Scott Linehan. So right now I'll just say that that's just a wash, but it should improve. I don't think it can get much worse. Defensively, I think we're in a great position coaches-wise. The fact that we ended up getting rid of Paul Alexander on offensive line, I think that that's going to be better. So coaching-wise, there's not a big upheaval, but we should at least have enough changing of the offense to make it less predictable, which I think will be an improvement. Schedule-wise, we're going to have a tough schedule. Make no mistake about it. We got a first-place schedule. We got to play like New England. We got to play the Eagles twice, of course. You know, there's a lot of games in there that you're going to look at and say they're going to be tough games, but if you want to be the best, you got to beat the best. So that's going to be hurting and difficult for us. But I think we got a good chance to win the division. And I think it'll come down to what is the health of Carson Wentz. The Eagles, like us, have been methodical in free agency, replacing players that they've lost in free agency, getting their books in order, and they're going to still be a team to reckon with. And it's going to be Imano versus Imano. But the wild card, I will say, will be, can Carson Wentz, for the first time in his NFL career, because over the last 4 years he's been injured going back to college, that's going to be the difference on whether or not this season is the Cowboys or the Eagles, I honestly believe. Because if Carson Wentz is fully 100% and gets that team healthy, they're a team to reckon with. Carson Wentz goes down, I don't know what to tell you. But I know one thing. I'm ready to get the season on. Yeah. Today was a good day. I sure do miss my other channel. But it's time to turn out the lights, guys. This party's over. I'll see you guys in the morning.